With her parents behind bars, Savannah Chrisley has become completely submersed in all things related to the prison system. And the reality TV princess wants her 2.7 million followers to know she's ready to take on the prison system and clean it of all corruption. Savannah Chrisley takes on prison system. As Update of USA previously reported, Savannah blasted the Federal Bureau of Prisons on her podcast, claiming that the facility her mother was locked up in wasn't humane. Savannah revealed that the facility did not have proper heating or cooling. She explained the problem was so serious that they had a whole separate building for the service dogs to go to so they could be in a temperature-controlled environment. While the Federal Bureau of Prisons didn't respond to Savannah directly, nor did they clarify which facility they were referring to, the BOP did issue a response claiming that all of their facilities were temperature-controlled appropriately based on what the weather was outside. Chrisley Knows Best fans were quick to applaud Savannah, as they believe if an average Joe had issued this complaint, it would have gone nowhere. But because she has nearly 3 million followers, the Federal Bureau of Prisons had to issue a response. She's not done just yet. It, however, appears as if she's not done taking on the system. Savannah took to her Instagram stories once again to call attention to the fact that women behind bars are at the high risk of getting abused, and that it happens all of the time. Sharing documents confirming this to be true, Savannah asked when something would be done to protect the women behind bars. Savannah Chrisley has admitted on her podcast that her parents being behind bars and her being introduced to this world has caused her to look at things differently. And it sounds as if she's interested in using her platform to encourage change to the way the system currently operates. Fans have mixed feelings. Understandably, fans have pretty mixed feelings about Savannah's rage against the system. Some fans point out that Savannah's intentions are self-serving with her parents behind bars, and that she's never had an interest in the prison system or injustice before now. Other fans argue that individuals who commit crimes and end up behind bars shouldn't necessarily have the same rights and comforts as people who are free. What do you think about Savannah's rage against the system? Let us know in the comments down below, and keep coming back for more Chrisley Knows Best news. In the aftermath of her parents Todd and Julie Chrisley's sentencing, Savannah Chrisley has found herself in an unexpected role, a fierce advocate for prison reform. While her family had long been under the public scrutiny due to their reality TV fame and financial controversies, Savannah's newfound cause has shifted the narrative from scandal to justice. Her bold decision to speak out against the flaws in the prison system marks a new chapter in her life, one that places her at the forefront of a complex, controversial issue. A daughter's heart touch. When Todd and Julie Chrisley were convicted of bank fraud and tax evasion, the shockwaves rippled far beyond the courtroom. Their sentencing, a combined 19 years in prison, left their family, particularly Savannah, reeling. Savannah had always been vocal about her love for her parents, but this new reality was unthinkable. In the beginning, her focus was purely on coping with the emotional aftermath, caring for her younger siblings Grace and Chloe, and managing the family's affairs. But as time passed, Savannah's pain evolved into something more. Through her visits to see her parents in their respective prisons, she started to gain first-hand insight into the conditions and challenges faced by inmates. "I never thought I'd be in this situation," Savannah admitted in a tearful Instagram post. "But now that I'm here, I can't stay silent." Discovering the flaws. Savannah's advocacy didn't start with public speeches or news interviews. It started with heartbreak and frustration. As she regularly visited her parents, she saw not only the emotional toll the imprisonment had taken on them, but also the harsh realities of the prison system itself. She observed overcrowded facilities, a lack of proper health care, and the limited resources available for inmates to rehabilitate and reintegrate into society after serving their time. Julie Chrisley, in particular, was housed in a women's prison that Savannah described as inhumane. "These are mothers, daughters, and sisters," Savannah said in a podcast episode, her voice cracking with emotion. "They're paying their debt to society, but they're being denied basic human rights. The system is failing them." Savannah began educating herself on prison reform, diving deep into research, connecting with advocates, and speaking to former inmates. What she discovered was alarming. The American prison system, particularly its for-profit prisons, was often more focused on punishment than rehabilitation. "It's a vicious cycle," Savannah noted. "We expect people to come out of these facilities ready to rebuild their lives, but the system isn't giving them the tools to do that." The turning point. One of the most pivotal moments for Savannah came during a conversation with her father, Chrisley, who was serving time in a minimum security prison. Todd had always been a larger-than-life personality, but prison had stripped him down to a raw, vulnerable state. He told me about the hopelessness he saw around him, Savannah recalled. Inmates who had given up on themselves because they knew the system wasn't built to help them succeed. It broke my heart. This conversation solidified Savannah's determination to take action. She realized that while her parents' situation was difficult, they were far from alone. Thousands of families across the country were facing similar challenges. "This isn't just about my mom and dad anymore," she stated firmly. "This is about fighting for real change, a public platform." Savannah knew she had something powerful on her side, her platform. With millions of followers on social media and a loyal fan base from her reality TV days, she had a voice that could reach people. But rather than simply using it to air her grievances, Savannah chose to channel her energy into advocacy. She began using her social media presence to highlight stories of other inmates, particularly women, who had been failed by the system. She shared research on the racial disparities in sentencing, the lack of mental health support in prisons, and the troubling rise of private, for-profit facilities. Her followers, many of whom had been fans of the Chrisley family for years, were drawn into this new side of Savannah, the advocate, the fighter. Her podcast, Unlocked with Savannah Chrisley became a platform not only to discuss the family's struggles but also to amplify the voices of experts, activists, and former inmates. In one particularly emotional episode, she interviewed a woman who had spent over a decade in prison for a non-violent drug offense. The woman described the difficulty of reintegrating into society with no job prospects and limited support. "We lock people away and then forget about them," Savannah said at the end of the episode, "but they're still human. They deserve a chance to come out better, not broken." Taking action. Savannah didn't stop at raising awareness. She wanted to make tangible change. With the help of legal experts and reform advocates, she founded an organization called Beyond the Bars aimed at providing resources for inmates and their families, lobbying for prison reform legislation, and supporting programs that promote rehabilitation over punishment. "We can't just throw people away," Savannah explained at the launch event. "We need to invest in them if we want a better society." Her advocacy has not been without its critics. Some argue that her family's wealth and privilege give them an unfair platform, while others accuse Savannah of trying to use her parents' situation to gain sympathy. But Savannah remains undeterred. "People are going to say what they want," she said in a recent interview. "But this isn't about me or my family anymore. It's about fighting for a system that's broken and trying to help the people trapped in it." The road ahead. As Savannah continues to navigate life with her parents behind bars, she remains committed to her fight for prison reform. She's currently working with lawmakers to introduce legislation aimed at improving conditions for female inmates, and her organization, Beyond the Bars is expanding its outreach programs. "This is just the beginning," Savannah promises. "I may not be able to fix everything overnight, but I won't stop until we see real change." Savannah Chrisley's transformation from reality TV star to advocate is a testament to the power of personal experience to ignite passion and action. While her family's legal battles have been a source of deep pain, they have also sparked a new purpose in Savannah's life, one that seeks to bring justice, compassion, and reform to a system in desperate need of change.